still think the keyboards are my favorite part of that opening intro. As we're sitting here both adjusting our volume on the mixing board.
Levels.
What in the world is happening?
I don't know. Somebody came
Maybe
in
it's
here.
this? I think it's here. Is it here? All right.
Well, I
Yeah,
need that for my earphones.
Somebody messed with our stuff. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right. Episode 117, Rob.
117.
117,
Coincidentally
117.
enough, today is the 17th.
And what is April 17th?
It is my birthday.
Ta-da!
It is the day of my birth.
I'm going to hit a random sound effect button.
Yeah.
That's what it
the
sounded
birthday, That's the birthday.
That's what it sounded like when you were born.
Yeah.
That's your birth sound.
That's what it sounds like.
All right, so we've done Christmas stuff before. What was, if you recall, or I have no idea. Do you have a favorite birthday present from years past?
Oh gosh.
I know Christmas is a little bit easier to remember. Like, when I got the
birthday
bike. When I got the BMX. But any favorite birthday?
Yeah, I think. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember if it was birthday or Christmas.
Well, do you remember what you said on the Christmas podcast?
That's what I'm trying to remember if I already told that one.
Yeah.
It was a guitar. It was the first electric guitar I ever got. But I can't remember if it was for Christmas or. I still have it.
I don't think you told that story. I don't think.
It was my father bought me from Rhythm City, which is a local business in Atlanta.
Ooh, foreshadowing. Dun, dun, dun.
Doesn't exist anymore, but Rhythm City, and I got a blue to black sunburst Stratocaster Plus.
It's got to be a Fender Strat. That's kind of like the universal first guitar.
Yep. Still have it.
Okay. Do you ever play it or no?
All the time.
You favor other guitars?
No, I play it all the time.
Okay. Wow, that's your favorite. Okay, love it.
Yeah, but I've since kind of become, because I got that Les Paul. I've got a Gibson, and I prefer the Gibson.
You're a Gibson guy now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I like them both. They sound different, but as far as like playability is concerned, I do prefer the Gibson.
okay. Does your Gibson go out of tune easier than the Fender? Okay, now
Easier than the.
I'm starting to, because you know how we got those Gibsons from Gary or whatever that.
Yeah.
I'm starting to understand why he changed all of his tuning pegs.
Yeah.
Because man, after one song, it's like, dude, this baby is.
Well, if you don't
way out
have,
of tune.
do you not have locking?
They're not. It didn't come with locking.
Yeah.
So it just kept with the.
So the Strat that I have has a Floyd Rose tremolo system, and it's got the locking tuning pegs up top. So it does stay in tune pretty well. But
Okay.
you work that whammy bar and it'll go out of tune.
Yeah. All right. Well, happy birthday.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Of
Thank
course. That is a little bit of a segue in terms of Rhythm City. Rhythm City, is that what it was?
I have 3 things showing up at my house. This is unplanned.
Wait, what's happening?
I'm going to tell you.
Okay, we just did a hard left.
I have 3 3 birthday presents to myself that I gave to myself that are showing up at the house today from 3 different vendors, which I didn't time.
You didn't plan.
And they're all supposed to be delivered today.
Okay. Amazing.
Are you ready for the 3 things?
I would
Couldn't be more random.
I would love to hear the 3
Okay,
things.
are you ready?
Is one of them coming from Amazon?
One of them is coming from Amazon.
Okay. All right. What's the Amazon gift to yourself?
In support of
I'm not ashamed to buy my own presents.
In support of the Goldman family,
Okay.
I'm going to read the OJ If I Did It book.
What?
I ordered it. Because
Okay.
they've come out and said, all the sales from that book go direct to the Goldman family.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they at first, I forget who the publisher was, but at first they said, and the judge said, nope, can't publish the book.
Yeah.
When he first wrote it.
Yeah.
Then they reversed that decision and said, actually, you can publish the book, but all the proceeds go to the Goldman family.
Okay.
And so obviously the juice passed away.
Yeah, narrator voice since last we recorded. The juice
is squeezed.
Yeah.
As they say. So I ordered the book. I just ran them on a whim. I know.
It's kind of the ultimate double jeopardy slap in the face, right? The whole like, I didn't do it, but if I did, this is how I would have done it.
It is the admission of guilt. I mean,
yeah.
it just is.
Yeah.
Sorry, OJ fans, but
Yeah. Well,
and I would not have ordered it if
it wasn't going to
wasn't going to the
well,
to their families,
there is some interesting things too, where I guess the executor said, "Hey, no money's going their way," and then
but he
immediately turned to it was like, okay,
why would he
hold
say
on.
like I don't
Who knows? I don't know, man. The world's a crazy place.
All right, so that's
number one is a book. Okay, I'm not surprised that you got yourself a book.
Yeah.
I like that.
And that's just a good, dare I say, juicy read.
Ooh.
That's an easy just vacation read.
Well
you know what I
played.
mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to think.
Yeah. Just consume.
So that's one. The other thing is a pair of shoes.
Okay.
I have a little bit of a shoe fetish.
Yeah.
I have way too many shoes.
What kind of shoe are they? Is it an existing brand?
It's an existing brand.
that you already have.
I already have a pair of them. In fact, I'm wearing them right now.
Okay, but you bought a second.
But
pair
I bought a second pair.
of the exactly the same shoe.
Nope, different color.
Okay.
Same shoe, different color.
All right. Well, I love Adidas. I'm gonna interrupt your thing. And as soon as I find the one that I love, boom, I immediately go buy a second pair.
Yeah.
And put them in the closet because I know when I go to buy new, it's not.
It won't. But yeah, they won't have any more.
They won't- yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I. So I found these, and it's this random brand called Vessi, Vessi.
Okay.
And this was like a random Instagram
what
ad. Yeah, that I was like, what?
You bought
and
off an Instagram
The
ad? That's
reason that I
incredible.
bought them was because I didn't have a pair of sneakers that are rain proof.
Okay. Got it.
And just for dog walking and everything, I'm always like, I don't have any rain. Like,
Don't
I
have
need
good
some for
dog
rain.
walking in the rain.
So I
Okay.
got these, not knowing if they'd be comfortable or not. They are super comfortable.
Really? That's so much so that you love them that you bought another.
I bought another pair in black.
incredible.
So,
All
now,
right.
so now I got a black and a gray.
Did
So
you buy
that's
them direct from the manufacturer? Though?
direct from the manufacturer?
Direct from Vessi.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know that you can. I don't know that they sell them on Amazon. I don't know. Anyway,
All right. And then number 3, drum roll, please.
number 3 is a new golf club.
Okay.
I bought
Well,
a Cleveland 60-degree wedge.
You have been playing a lot more golf as I've learned to listen to. You and Kyle are talking in the office.
I have.
about
I'm
golf.
trying to play more golf.
Yeah, it seems like you're playing every weekend.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
It's a good.
Or a
it's a good
60-degree wedge.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what that means because I'm not. I mean, I know what that means, but I don't know.
Here's when you use that club. That's like, oh, I'm in a sand trap.
Okay, I'm in the bunker.
I'm in the bunker,
Okay,
and that's
got
to
it.
get out of the bunker. And so a lot of people play like I have a 56-degree wedge, but a lot of people have a 56, a 58, a 60, so on and so forth.
That like one little degree makes all the difference.
It's actually two degrees.
Yeah. Well,
Yes, that's correct. It does. I mean, does it? I don't know.
I don't know.
But the problem is, you go out and you play around, and you have a horrible, horrible day
Yeah.
hitting out of the sand, and then you immediately
Then you
go
go
and buy a
home and-
brand new,
yeah,
brand new golf club.
yeah.
So yeah, pair of shoes, a book, and a golf club. Happy birthday to me.
Those are 3 awesome gifts. I'm going to call it better than like a vacuum. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with
yeah.
vacuums, but like, hey, those are all 3 things.
Yeah, they're all enjoyable.
that you will enjoy. That's exactly
yeah.
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It isn't like old man maintenance stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got a new hip for my birthday.
Yeah.
That type of thing. So, well, that's exciting. Well, that's hopefully.
And I'm gonna eat dinner from a local business, local restaurant called Glide Pizza.
Okay. Glide.
Yeah, and the most important thing you need to know about Glide Pizza, and this is a nice dovetail into what we're going to talk about.
Land this plane.
So Glide Pizza first came on my radar because on my way home there is an outpost of Glide Pizza right by the Beltline.
Okay.
And it started, and it's just a walk-up window.
Oh,
like there wasn't
a counter.
sit down,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
counter.
Now,
And
is
I
it
really
buy the slice? Just get a slice to go?
You can get slices, or you can get
can get a whole pie.
Yeah, you
Okay,
can get a whole
okay.
pie.
All right.
I don't think it started that way. I think it started as just slices because
yeah.
it was a walk-up spot on the Beltline. But I noticed it because I really liked the logo.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's like a slice of pizza, kind of like a paper airplane
Love that.
kind of thing. So I looked it up,
Yeah.
and it was done by a local designer who you may know of, a guy by the name of Brian Steely.
Okay.
Shout out Brian Steely, who does a ton of work for a lot of the bands.
Yes.
He does a lot of band work, band posters, gig posters, and stuff like that. Has a really cool style that he's kind of known for, and he does a lot of really cool stuff. And anyway, I was like, oh my gosh, he did the Glide Pizza logo, and to boot, the pizza's good.
Yes.
So I'm gonna have Glide Pizza for dinner.
Dude, that's awesome.
So those are my birthday plans. So how does that dovetail into what we're talking about? We thought it would be nice to think about and have a discussion around launching a local business. And from a marketing standpoint and perspective, what are some of the critical things that you need to do in order to set yourself up for success as a local business?
Steps to take from a marketing perspective, for sure.
Yeah. And I would say, I'll go ahead and kick it off.
Kick it off. I'm sure we got a lot of the same things, but I
sure
think
we
we'll
do.
just jam on this.
But I think the very first thing you need is a strong visual identity.
Yeah.
For whatever it is. So I think the Glide Pizza is a great example.
Yeah. Got you.
Yeah, whether you're a restaurant or whether you're a shoe store or an alterations place, whatever it is, I think it's critical to spend the resources, time, and effort in order to develop a strong brand identity.
Yeah. Well, pizza is you know, it's a commodity, right?
Yeah.
I mean, pizza, but it's not.
Right.
It's not, because you definitely have those multi tiers of, you know what I mean? You're like, okay, Sbarro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
CC's.
Domino's, CC's, Marco's, you know, like when you start thinking about it, you're like, yeah, there's pizza everywhere, but no, not all pizza's the same.
No,
you know?
no. And there's a lot of, you know, in a market like that, it's like, yeah, you're going up against massive chains, right? You're going against mom and pop things.
Sure,
you're going against all kinds. And you've got, you know, there's several brands out there that, like a Mellow Mushroom is obviously a big local brand. And they've done a really good job.
Yeah, they just rebranded too, actually.
They just
did you
did a
see their
rebrand,
new, their new logo,
And they're just leaning into the woo, you know, which they always have, which is
Acid
great.
Trip, crazy colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I think a strong brand identity. None of this, like, you know, 99-cent logo
the
online.
Fiverr special?
Don't do that. Go find a good designer or a good firm that can do the work for you and do something and come up with something strong, because you're going to have to live with it for a long, long, long time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny, but the first thing on my list, actually, as a designer, was not the design, as you mentioned, not a strong Viz ID. My first thing was communicating your point of differentiation, right? Like, you have to spend time to think, why am I better or different, right? So let's pick on pizza, right? We're talking about pizza, right? It's I'm a new pizza place, but I'm going against these big multi-billion-dollar things that, you know, and the competition there really is convenience, right? Like, oh, I can just order this on my phone and it'll be here in a half hour, right? It's not like you're pitting pizza against pizza. You have multiple layers of competition, right? And sometimes competition isn't necessarily someone who does exactly the same thing. It's just contextual relevancy or time or whatever the case may be, right? So you kind of got to answer the question, why you? Like, what is your point of differentiation? Why are we a better cleaner? Why are we a better pizza maker? Why are we a better accountant? Like what is the spiel? What's your thing that makes you different?
Yeah, you got to lean into what you do best, right? Yeah. So again, with pizza, if you think about like Antico, you know, no frills, no nothing. I mean, it is all about the oven and the authentic nature of the pizza.
They did not spend the least amount of possible on furniture.
You don't get to pick
decor.
You don't pick your toppings.
Yeah, exactly.
We make 5 pizzas, or 4 pizzas, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And for my money, it's
the best pizza.
Probably the best pizza in town.
Absolutely.
Outside of Italy. Really. But yeah, I mean, we are authentic, and we do a handful of things, and we do them very, very well. Yeah. No frills.
Yeah. Not cheap either.
Not cheap.
Right.
Got to pay for quality.
Yeah, exactly. Versus Domino's, which is, hey, their entire new ad campaign right now is, hey, guess how much this meal is? And it's all people saying, oh, it's going to be this, that, and whatever. And no, it's only $19.
Yep.
Or, you know, and people are freaking
out.
Or
CC's. Right? I mean, that was always the...
Oh, my Lord. It was
$2.99.
Like $2.99 all-you-can-eat pizza bar.
Oh, God. Gross.
I know. How did we not end up with God knows what diseses from that place?
This is a random side note, but I remember... I think I made a comment about it on social media years ago when I think it was Domino's came out. I think it was Domino's came out with a whole campaign, and I was blown away by the dare I say stupidity of this campaign.
Which one was this? Our pizzas were terrible. So
the campaign was, hey, if you order a pizza and and we deliver it to you, and if for any reason. This
is Domino's.
We mess up the pizza.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for your pizza.
Yeah. I think this was Domino's.
That was the whole campaign. And it was like, I sat there and I was like, wait a minute. So you're telling me I'm supposed to be impressed by the fact that if I order a pizza from you and you F it up?
Yeah.
I don't have to pay for it. Wow, thanks.
Yeah. Well, I think that didn't that one dovetail though into
so you're telling me you're going to screw up my pizza?
yeah, basically.
What?
But I feel like that thing dovetailed into the pizza insurance, right? Which was the whole life happens if you drop your pizza.
Yeah.
If your pizza, we'll give you a new pizza for free or something like that. Do you remember that? It was like, that's what that turned into. So
that was crazy. I was like, what? Wait a minute. This is horrible.
Anyway,
Anyway, strong
so-
identities.
Yeah, so it's funny. The copywriter says strong identity,
Yep.
and the designer says message.
Yep.
Point of differentiation.
And I think identity involves the visual identity, the name of the place, all the things that go into that, to the foundation of what you're going to be, because you're gonna have to live with that, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So spend the time, money, and everything to do it.
Are we both going to say the same thing next, which is your digital life, right? Your website.
Yeah, I mean, your digital life is a good one. Of course, any more of that is the first impression on a lot of places, right?
Yeah. I mean, website's my next thing on my
Yeah.
list, which then quickly dovetails into SEO and local SEO, of course.
Yeah.
But like, you need to have at the bare minimum. I tell clients this all the time. At the bare minimum, a brochure online.
Yeah, you got to have something.
You do not need full technology and complicated websites and things. It depends on what your business is, of course. But like, you don't need to log in and check your shipping order. But like, you need to at least start with. You need a website so people can check the box and go, "Oh, this is a real place."
Now, I would say this though: if we're still talking about pizza, which we're not limited to pizza, obviously, but
Sure.
But if Antico didn't have a website, I would be totally fine with that.
You know what? Damn it! You bring up a good point.
Right? I mean,
Yes.
if their strategy is, no, like,
Okay, but at the very minimum, they do have, and I know that they do have a Google My Business.
you've got to have that so that I know
Landing
what the
page.
hours of operation are.
Correct, correct.
At a bare minimum, I have to know when you're open.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of time that has the menu on there.
Yeah,
and
sure.
From a local SEO perspective, it's all about reviews, right? So
Well,
it's going
I've
to be like,
got reviews on my list.
okay,
yeah.
well, then that dovetails into whatever you want to say about reviews. But
Yeah.
your website can literally be one page. It can be one page parallax something, but you need to. In previous podcasts, we talked about you got to claim your own digital real estate. Right?
Yeah,
And part of that is going to be the Google My Business and that whole page and then all that stuff.
So
but
the
reviews.
obvious thing to talk about is the fact that if you are a new business and a new small local business, the first challenge is getting people in the door, right?
Yeah.
Unless you are a franchise of a larger operation, like a Subway sandwich chain or something like that, and you have the power of the brand behind you and people already know it, you got to get people in the door. So how do you get people in the door? And you need to think about promotions. You need to think about signage. You need to think about referral programs.
Yeah.
You need to think about, social media, right? And sort of geo-targeting and all of these things in an effort to get people in the door. And then once they're in the door, how do you get them to become ambassadors and start to spread the word?
Yeah. Oh my God, I had the greatest sandwich down there.
Oh my gosh.
We're going there for lunch tomorrow.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Well, here's a coupon card. Go give this to, Chick-fil-A
totally.
always hands out the sandwich cards.
Yeah.
and things
I've
like
got
that.
more free chicken sandwich cards than I know what to do with.
Do you really?
I do.
Still?
Yeah. Yes.
Why?
We're given them by a friend of ours who works at Chick-fil-A. So, and I never use them because I never have them on me, and I'm a horrible.
You need to hand some of those things out.
I'll bring them into the
You need
office.
to keep them in the glove compartment.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. So,
So you got to get people in the door, right? Digital presence is a big one. You can accomplish a lot with your digital program, right?
Yes.
You can get reach, you can get awareness, you can get promotions and couponing and all that
Yes.
kind of good stuff. Because that's really it. Is what lure am I going to use to
Yes.
get people to bite?
now you mentioned social. I didn't put social on my list because social to me is one of those like, don't start it unless you can fully support it.
Well, yeah.
and maintain it and nurture it.
Yeah,
right.
yep, and that's true.
It's funny as guys that own an advertising agencies, our agency, we've mentioned multiple times to startup companies, don't advertise, don't do that. Don't advertise as a brand new company unless you can literally sustain it and support it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to blow a bunch of money on one ad over here, one ad over there, or 2 weeks of this and then you shut it down. That does nobody any good. That's a total waste of money. Like, spend that money somewhere else. Spend that on a referral or, one of the other programs that you had mentioned, a promotion and whatnot, right? So social, everybody wants to rush to it because it's like, oh my God, I gotta have a Facebook and this and that. But it's like, don't really, my advice is don't do that unless you can really support it.
Yeah.
And guess what? Once that train's rolling, man,
Can't stop it.
You can't stop it. And it's like, it happens fast. Tomorrow comes a lot faster than you think it does.
Yeah.
And all of this that we're talking about, by the way, is on top of whatever you're doing for your actual business.
Right.
Like whatever, this is all just the marketing aspect,
Yeah.
getting attention, getting people in the front door.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta pay for search, right? You gotta do I mean, you just have to.
Yeah.
If you know, and it can get expensive depending on the sandbox that you're playing in.
Yeah.
But people have to be able to find you.
Or you pay for an SEO program.
Or you pay for an SEO program.
Yeah.
Or you do both. I mean, a lot of companies do both.
Yeah, for sure.
But you gotta show up to the party.
Yeah.
If you want people to party with you.
Yeah, no, it gets to be a lot really fast, I think, for a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people starting up brand new things. And it's like, you know, nothing kills a bad product like great advertising, right? So you still got to focus on what you do to begin with, what your first, you know, that's what your love is or what the thing is, right? And this is all layered on top, and man, it adds up quick in terms of like man hours and time, things like that. Right?
Which is why I think it's smart to identify the different avenues, but don't try and do everything at once.
Totally agree.
Right? It's pick an area of focus and say, okay, we're gonna focus on our digital presence, right? And to really take the time to then do that and do it well. It does come up from time to time where clients will come and go, yeah, I you know, a rep called me and I've got this great opportunity to do a one-off ad and and we always say it's a terrible idea.
It's a horrible idea.
Of course, the rep is trying to sell you on that.
Yeah.
The one-off ad doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah.
You've got to be consistent in whatever lane that you're driving down.
Yeah.
You got to stay consistent and you got to keep doing it and reach in frequency.
Totally. Cardinal tenets.
Yeah.
The equivalent for us is constantly winning awards we didn't realize we entered into award shows. Congratulations, you won all these things.
Right.
You know, pay for your trophies.
Right.
And
Pay for your trophy.
And pay for your sponsored ad and the whatever. And it's like, none of that means.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? So,
Yeah.
What else is, I mean, that's basically my list was just that. It was, you know, point of differentiation, digital life. You know, you kicked us off with VizID. What, do you have anything else on your list?
I mean, no, not really.
Yeah, I mean, there's package. It depends on what your industry is in terms of what your actual product is.
does.
Is it a service or is it a thingamajiggy? It
does. I mean,
because then obviously you need packaging, things like that. Right?
In general, you get, as a new business, you get one shot.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Subway.
Yeah.
Or a franchise, and people are going to come back, and they're going to come back, and they're going to come back. But you get one shot, and so you better make it count from everything from a is the store clean?
Yeah.
Does it right to the customer experience?
Yeah.
To are my employees doing everything correctly? To all of these things.
Yeah, the most important thing in the world is customer experience, of course. I mean, we're bypassing some of
absolutely.
that. Yeah.
But yeah, and then encourage people to spread the word.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the key, right?
Well, I wish I remember who told me this many, many moons ago. I mean, we're talking almost 20 years ago now, but I have told this to numerous other people over the years. And that's why I wish I could credit whoever told me this. But and I'm sure you've heard me say this too. And you're like, what are you about to say? The starting a business is like growing ivy. Have you heard this? Have you heard me say this?
So.
Okay. Starting a business is like growing ivy, like ivy in your yard, like
Sure.
Boston ivy or whatever, right? Is first year it sleeps, second year it creeps, and third year it leaps.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember I've told that to like our old veterinarian who started his office, you know, and then would bring the dogs in and they'd be like, oh my God, dude, I remember you telling me that, you know, that type of thing. Yeah. And that is, for me, that absolutely was sage advice in terms of that first year is a little sleepy. And that second year, you start getting traction and momentum. And then if you can make it to that third year, I mean,
then you're off and running.
You're basically off and running. And a year is a long time, but man, it also goes very quick,
Right.
you know?
Right.
It's that old, you know, the days are long, but the years are short kind of enigma or whatever you want to call it. So that's the last thing I would tell people starting a business is like growing ivy.
Yeah. So. Well, I would say just to sort of start to wrap it up here, the good news is we can do a lot of these things for you.
What an excellent segue.
If you do have a new business that you're starting up.
Absolutely.
From the name to the identity to the marketing to everything else. Yeah. And if you'd like to learn more about how we can do all of these wonderful things for you, you can visit us online, of course, at mocktheagency.com or find us on all the socials. We're not hard to find.
Totally.
All right, everybody. Good luck in your new business, whatever it is.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.